Hey everybody, we're here for our TCDB Saturday morning meeting. We've got a good group here today. My name's Scott Weirsham. I help Java developers to get their unruly code under control so they can work on fun and exciting projects. We also have Hugo here. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone. Yes, my name is Hugo. I help professional Java web developers to create design better architectures so they can start lead their teams and projects.
Very good. And also we have Rohan from Brazil as well. So
hello. Besides I'm from Brazil, I live in Canada, and I'm a Java developer over here, and I help Java backend developers to code beautiful, clean software that simply works. They can become the most dependable developer in their team.
Very cool. Okay, well, today I've got a a small presentation to help you learn some of the refactoring keyboard shortcuts in at least in IntelliJ. And so let me go ahead and show you this. Here we go. Come on. All right. So basically, this is a koan that I got from Llewellyn Falco. He's a friend of mine, and he's got a GitHub project called Learn with Lou, and one of them is keyboard shortcut katas for Java. He's also got one for he's got a bunch of katas for different languages. I will go and put the link to this GitHub project in the discussion, and I will show you quickly what we do. So basically what we've got here is a simple little function, and we're going to go through and refactor it. And we want to learn, this is an inline refactoring. So basically, if you look on your refactor menu, you'll see that there is an inline field instruction, and the keyboard shortcut is Control-Alt-N. So I can go through and say, okay, for A, I'll do refactor, and then I'll come down here and find inline in the menu and click that, and that will be really embarrassing. You'll see I've also got this function called Key Promoter X. It's a plugin for IntelliJ to help you learn these keystrokes. So basically, you'll see that the shortcut for that is Control-Alt-N. So if I want to do this here, I can just go Control-Alt-N and very quickly do it. Here's an E, Control-Alt-N. Then it goes and looks through the code and inlines that. Do this J, Control-Alt-N, and it's kind of fun to go through and just work on this and make it go. Oh, can't do this one. All right. Well, let's go to K. Did a mess. Okay. There's a L. It also shows you the power of the development environment because, well, that's right, because the refactoring is done safely by the IDE, so you don't have to you don't have to worry that the refactoring that was done, for the most part, you can assume that it's a safe refactoring, because you won't have to do a special test case to make sure that was done safely, because the IDE takes care of that for you. That's one of the advantages of doing all of this. Now, this is okay. If I I go here, I can also go here and say simplify this. It's pretty handy. Go here. And I want to simplify this. Hello. Place with constant value. There we go. Boom. And here we'll do the same thing. Convert number to, oh, come on. All right, fine. So now we'll go here. Class O. Simplify that. I'm sorry. Control Alt N. Inline have static methods. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, so does anybody call that? Oh, if you look at that, class O is never used. Safe delete. Boom. It's always good to do. H. Control Alt N. Actor. Okay, and here. Simplify that. Very good. If false. So I can do this, remove the if statement. That's just an alt enter. That basically is your smart refactoring there. T, Control Alt N, and then go back here. Nope. Simplify that. Oh, what is this? This is, boom, if I go. Oh, lambda with a lambda body, boom. And then here I can say, simplify that. 42 plus 2 minus 2. I can then say, come on. Replace it with the constant value 42. This is never used. We'll do a safe delete. And so all that code goes down to return 42, one of our favorite functions, or our favorite numbers. We can also say optimize imports, get rid of the unused import. So all that code squeezed down to 10 lines. So that's just a quick and easy function that kata that you work through to learn how to do refactoring, kind of get the keyboard shortcuts into your fingers. You notice I didn't use my mouse at all, except to go and pick something that I was going to refactor. So it's a handy little kata. It'll help you learn the keyboard shortcuts. He's got other katas out there to help you learn other keyboard shortcuts for your IDE. But really, understanding how to use your tool, how to maximize the effectiveness of the tool that you have, is something that we all need to do. So I will stop sharing. And so does anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments about what I just showed you?
Actually, I was trying to ask for YouTube because it was hard, but I just zoomed in the final. I didn't get the beginning because of it's hard to see in the StreamYard. Do you have the YouTube link?
Yeah, the link will be in the was that on the the Discord discussion. So basically, you click on that, and that'll take you to whatever we've got.
Okay.
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 It looks like Bruno and Sylvia have joined us silently. That's okay.
Hey, Scott, how you doing? Hey, Hugo. Hi, Juan. Hey, Ali. Hi, everyone.
Hey there.
Hello, guys. Morning.
So let me say, I always like to, I come here just to kick you guys, I guess. Sorry. But Scott, your background is awesome, man.
You like that?
It's
Yeah.
totally awesome.
Bruno had
It's
a physical hand in putting that together. So.
right. No, but it's really good. I mean, it's perfect.
Here you go.
Perfect.
See that?
So yeah,
Get Duke
it's
in the
totally
picture
awesome,
there.
man. Yeah, that's awesome. You have just a little shine on top of your head. That's you.
Yeah, I've got a halo because I'm a saint. So.
Yeah, you're a saint. Okay. Cool. Yes. Who wants light in the back is always bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot because I just woke up right now and I don't have lights in the
Right. I know.
hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah. What happened if your Japanese flag, Hugo?
It fell,
You're me.
so I couldn't have time to put it again.
Okay. All right. No problem. No problem. I thought you were in a different place.
No,
All right.
I'm the same.
So Scott, I didn't get absolutely everything you showed, but
Mhm.
what I got was pretty awesome.
Well, thank you.
The little code kata that's a great exercise for people.
Yeah.
Now the problem is I mean, man, it's almost impossible to see it,
Right.
right? And
Gotta
the
use a
reason
larger font.
is you got to just use a larger font or zoom in, whatever it is that you want to do. But really, I'm just going to show you here. Actually, you know this more than I don't even need
Yeah.
to show
Yeah.
you, but
I
I took
just.
a screenshot. But
It's early Saturday
before,
morning. I had a brain fart, so next time I'll remember to do that.
I know, don't worry. Yeah, because the thing is, your code actually uses such a small portion of the screen,
Yeah.
right? And so is there? I don't know which IDE are using, but is there a way for you to remove the
Oh yeah.
list of files from the side?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So if you can do this, remove the list of files on the side, increase the font. That's going to be a lot better for you to reuse this and everything else.
Yes.
So that's one important thing for everyone here. It's you are the audience, right? You're not here to be like co-presenters, right? So you're the audience. So when you see like this in the beginning and you can't see anything, so let Scott know, hey, the font's too small, even if it's on the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all want to have this recorded, and then if it's recorded and it looks great, so Scott can just reuse that on his YouTube channel later, for example. But it's totally awesome.
Thank you.
So I missed the very beginning. So is this like a series of code katas for refactoring?
This is something I wanted to show off for today and to get us started, and see if anybody else had anything to present. Otherwise, we can chat for a little bit and call it quits.
Actually, I can try to improvise right now.
Yes. So Ron was going to do something on the fly.
On the fly. Let's see how that's gonna work.
Look, there's a little exercise that you could always do, even when you don't have anything. There is, and you guys could ask this exercise from each other, right? There is the Master Chef exercise. So after Juan improvises, we can do like a round of MasterChef exercise with each other, and then that would be good anyway.
Okay. I'm not much of a cook, but okay.
No worries. I'll do we'll do a rounds, the five of us here, and then you see that being a cook's not necessary. All right, that's much better. I can read this now.
Okay.
So
Imagine that you have
Juan, if you can remove the files on the side.
which one? Ah, this part.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
Imagine that we have you want to define the insurance price, okay, for your car, and do you have
Okay, can I just make a quick comment right there
yeah,
before you even start?
yeah,
So you see, of course, Juan is just improvising, right? No,
yeah.
go back to Juan is
Hold
what
on.
happened?
No, I don't know. Hold on. Okay, over here.
Yeah, so Juan is improvised, of course, right? Let's imagine you're doing this for a presentation, right? So everything you do, you make sure they fit on a big font, right? So for example, the comment over there, it's too long, doesn't fit there, right? Yes, exactly. So when you're presenting, the best way for you to do is make sure that all the classes are going to have code on screen. You have you format in a way that, and you can just use the IDE to format a uh, uh, smaller lines, right? So you format in a way that is going to look good when you do, right? And so right now, the way it is right now, you could even increase the font. That would be great. Okay, so just that's every time you're going to present code, guys, you have to make sure that everyone can see it.
Hmm.
All right.
Well, today I'm going to present to you how to do a code with less without ifs, okay, like less ifs statement. And so what I'm going to show you right now is
Okay, so Juan, I think you dropped for a minute, and you said how to delete code, and then we didn't hear anything else, I guess.
hello,
At least not me.
can you see?
No, just repeat everything you said.
Okay, today I'm going to present how to avoid the ifs statement in your code. So I'm going to show an example with ifs, and after I'm going to show how to do a code without ifs, the same code, more clean code without ifs. Okay, avoiding ifs. The example that I'm having here is like imagine that you have an insurance company that you need to consider the city that you live and if you park in the street or not. Okay, so we have like a string city, for example, Rio de Janeiro. Okay, and you can park in the Rio de Janeiro, true or false. Okay, like you can park or not. And in Montreal, it's another city, and you can park in the street or not. That's the simplest example that I'm gonna do, considering the to define the price. So if I have here, for example, I have to test if I have image that I have here. This is an example. So the first city is gonna be Rio de Janeiro. Okay. So I have I park in the street in Rio de Janeiro. It's the more expensive. It's the most expensive price about insurance when I park in the street. So I have just to validate the city. Okay. Actually, I like to do Rio de Janeiro. The city is Rio de Janeiro. Okay. And equals that city. Okay. And if I park in the street. Okay. Parking district. It's true. Okay. So if I in the price, hold on, string double price. Okay, for now the price is null. So if I have Rio de Janeiro, the price is going to be very, very expensive. So I'm going to put the, for example, $1,000. Okay, right here. If else if I have for example, Rio de Janeiro, but not parking, it's going to be cheapest the price. So the price is going to be $1,000. Okay. Or if I have another thing in Montreal, for example, if I park in Montreal, I have the city is Montreal, and if I park in the street, the price is going to be $500. Okay. Or the last option that I gave those for a while, but imagine that you can have many lists of cities. Okay, and so this if can be huge. And imagine that I live in Montreal and I don't park in the street. Okay, I have the price gonna be $100, very cheapest. So right now I have the I'm going to print the city. Okay, and so and the price, and if I park the city, okay, if I park in the street or not, and in the price. You can see that this kind of code can be many complex with many ifs. You can do a better thing without this, the price. Okay. Well, if I run this code right now, let's see if it's going to compile. And you're gonna have probably, if as I define over here, Rio de Janeiro, and the park in the streets, the price is gonna be printed is $2,000 normally. It's taking time. My ID is compiling everything, and probably we're gonna have this value over here, $2,000. Let's see. Okay, that's it. I put Rio de Janeiro, I park in the street, and the price is going to be $2,000. If I change here, this var over here for Montreal, okay, we're going to have, for example, 500, the value that's going to. And so, how can you improve this code, basically? Because many ifs with many options are too hard to understand, right? Since I have these two cities and the parking statement, here's the exit over here. So normally what I do is create and use the this kind of enum, okay, and for example Rio de Janeiro, and the combination, for example, in parking, So I have here the value that I can put Rio de Janeiro. And here is a true value. Okay. That's normally what I do. And over here, I'm gonna leave this like this for a while. And Montreal and parking. Okay. For a while. There are some options. In Rio de Janeiro, not parking. And this one is parking.
Can you increase the font again?
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's great. And Montreal, not parking. Here I have Montreal option, or like a no of all my options. Okay, this is a false. It's gonna be true. It's gonna be false. Okay. So what I must do right now, it's to do uh, create the two attributes, for one for city and one for my IDs. I got some troubles over here. Let me close this one. I have some issues. Okay, what I can do. Okay, what I can do is create two variables over here. It's a private final string city, okay, and private final string parking in the street, okay. And after that, I need to do an abstract method called get price, okay. That returns double. Abstract that get price, okay. And over here, I'm going to in this public unknown, I'm going to implement and override this abstract method that I created. So I need to do over here, and I have override my implement. So I'm going to define my price. That's going to be 2,000. Okay. So I have to put this, and let me see what create a constructor. I need to create a constructor as well. So it's a boolean. Okay, this one. And this is going to be the city name. Okay, and here is going to be the parking. Parking in the street. Okay, so this is going to be the city. So I just do the statement over here, set all the attributes that's going to come from the constructor. Okay. And this parking the street. This is a building. Okay. So right now I already implement this. I'm gonna copy to make my life easy, or not. I'm gonna copy this code over here and create the price for the all another options. And this is gonna be $1,000. Okay, and this is gonna be 500. And the last one is gonna be $100. Okay, right now I need to develop a method that I'm going to call that. Hold on. That's going to be a static method to do the validation. So I'm going to return a double over here because the price. So search for a price, okay, insurance price. Even the variables, I'm gonna have the price of insurance. So I'm gonna have the the city and the park, okay. And here I'm going to use the strings from Java. It's a really interesting thing. So I have values over here. Okay. And I need to import this. Let me import this variable here. Import class. Okay. I'm going to do the filter to filter this. Okay. Since I have this Siri here, I'm going to put the city. Okay. I need to compare equals city and the C dot park in the street. Make easy the filter. C dot parking in the street. Okay. Equals. Oh, that's not equals. It's just is like the parking. Exactly the value. So I'm going to find any of these options or else throw like a illegal argument, because if I don't have option, I'm going to do this. And okay, no. And I'm going to call the get price. That's it. Well, let's see if this is going to compile. Okay, SVM. And let's see if I put, for example, avoid ifs dot search. That's what I'm going to Rio de Janeiro. As the Rio de Janeiro. And the second argument is going to be true. So the $2,000. That's make it easy. Okay. Let's see the exit of this. If you see, it's easiest to understand because I have here Rio de Janeiro and the conditions that I got the price. So it's easiest to validate. So I have the price, $2,000 over here. So imagine that I'm going to put a Montreal and false, and the return is going to be the $100. So it's easiest to read without some if statement like this because more clean code. So if you can realize, just one thing that you can do always in your code. Let's see the return of the price. And $100. That's it. I have to show you.
Very cool.
Totally improvised, man.
Yep. That's handy. I would just because I am who I am, I'd prefer to see it test-driven development style, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a handy little code approach to replace your ifs with
Yeah, this is a part they call strategy, right? It's a
right.
design
There you
part
go.
called strategy.
Right. And that's that actually one of the reasons you do that sort of thing is to make things more testable.
Yeah. It's just a quick example.
Mm-hmm. That's very good.
Okay.
All right.
Very good, Ron. My comments are a few, right? So font is a problem, right? Second person, the font is a problem, right? So
Yeah.
we always have to pay attention, okay, guys? And especially, here at Saturday meetings, especially it's important because, if you just let someone go on without, like we all did with Scott, for example, you get to the end and then you can't reuse the video, right? So always let the person know. Now, Juan, that's something that you have to pay attention more.
Mhm.
And the whole reason why you're doing here is to experiment, right? And
Yeah.
get the mindset. So for example, you had moments. I mean, I know I told you, so you increase the font again, where the font just becomes smaller again, right? Because I think you had a new file or something.
Yeah.
But then there were some points where you're trying to show the code, and then the font was too big now, right? Because then we couldn't see the whole code on the screen, right? So that is something that you have to pay attention. If that's too many things to pay attention, I understand that sometimes it is. That's why sometimes it's better that you show slides with the exact code that you want to show, right? So that's one thing. Live coding, it's already hard enough.
Yeah.
There's too many things we should pay attention to. So sometimes it's actually better that we just show slides instead of live coding because of that, right? I mean, because several of those little things that you have to be paying attention all the time.
Yeah. It's dangerous. And
Yeah,
nobody can see nothing, right?
right. So no. Now, in terms of your presentation, I know you're doing totally improvising, right? In terms of your presentation, you started by saying, I'm gonna avoid the ifs. I'm gonna show you how to remove the ifs. And the question is why, right? So in the end, you show, oh, now you see that ifs are way more readable. But the thing is, if you're just gonna say I'm gonna remove ifs and I don't know why, and that's for presentation general, okay, guys? If every time you do a presentation, you have to tell me, the person that was watching, why I should pay attention to it, right? Why this is important? Why I should continue watching the video? Why I should continue? Why I should be here to the end? Why I should come to your presentation to begin with, right? So every time you present, you're going to present something. You say why, right? I'm going to show you how to reduce ifs, to reduce the amount of code, make your code more readable, and you're going to be a lot better developer if you know exactly how to remove ifs, right? Anything. I mean, you have to tell me why you're doing this. Okay, presentations are not. So live coding is a magic trick, right? I want you to understand live coding is a magic trick, right? You 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 know you you pretend you're coding, right? But there's all kinds of tricks behind it that no one sees the tricks, right? It's like, whoa, this guy's great, right? That's so live coding is a magic trick. But presentations are not a magic trick, right? So presentations is not something that it's not like a mystery movie, right? Where in the end I found out what it is, right? So it's something that I have to understand what I'm gonna watch. There is a maximum that you say, you tell the audience what is it you're gonna talk about, right? You tell the audience what are you gonna tell them. You tell them, and then you tell the audience what you told them, right? So basically, I'm gonna show you how to remove ifs, because that's going to be a lot better for your code. And then I show you how to remove ifs. And then when you finish, I told you, so you just saw how to remove ifs because that's better for you. Make sense?
Makes sense. Totally.
All right. And what I'm doing here, that's what I think all of you should be doing all the time, right? When you watch a presentation, I know there's two things that we're doing here for the presentation. One is that we are watching the presentation from other people, so we learn a little bit more, right? So when Scott, Juan present those things, we are all learning, so that's good. But there's another thing we're doing here, is that we all are working to be better presenters, right? So you have to put yourself in the shoes of the audience. So when the person finished presenting, you have to give him, you don't have to do this in the middle, right? Because we want the whole thing to be able to cut and be reused, right? But at the end, you should give your opinion. Not only, whoa, this is good, but I couldn't see the code, or for me it was not very clear in the beginning, or whatever you think it could be improved. It's important that you tell each other.
Great.
Great.
Guys, I will have to leave right now. Sorry, but great presentations. Great Saturday meeting, and so I see you next week.
Very good. Thanks, Hugo.
Thanks, Hugo. See you, man.
Bye bye.
Hugo's gonna run away before we do the hard exercise.
I wish to do the exercise, but I really need to go right now. I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem, Hugo.
I'm sorry myself. I wish to participate.
Don't worry.
Bye.
See you, man. Bye.
Bye, friend.
Bye. Anyone else has anything to present? Nope. Ed is going to present anything?
No. Basically, we were going to go until about now, and that was going to be it. So.
Okay. All right. Do you guys want to do one? Let's put Elio on the spot, because Scott already talked, Juan already talked, so we can put Elio on the spot, and then we do one round, just one with Elio. The Master Chef exercise, and then at least you guys know, because that's something that you should be doing. You could be doing every single Saturday meetings for a few minutes. All right, so Elio, we need your celebrity statements, or anything that you want to focus on, anything that you want to talk about.
Well, I don't have nothing prepared for today, honestly, and right now I'm kind of rephrasing everything because
don't worry. I know. I just want to know what you're an expert at that you can talk about without preparing anything.
I don't, honestly. I don't have nothing. Sorry.
You do, man. What's your specialty? You're very good at monitoring. We all know that.
Yes, I think so. But
okay. All right, so that's it. So that's good enough. Monitoring, right? So you're learning. We don't let people off the hook, right? So monitoring is what Ellie is going to talk about, right? Now, Elio, you can choose Scott or Juan. Choose a person.
I'm gonna try with Scott because I think he's more nice. So
Okay. Oh no, you have no idea how Scott is then.
Boy, do I have you fooled.
Yes, he has. He just have this nice guy face. He tricks everyone. So Scott, tell us a movie that you like, or a book that you like, or a story that you like, or a TV show,
Casablanca.
anything. Casablanca.
Jesus.
Casablanca is probably a little hard. I don't remember Casablanca. Do you remember Casablanca, Elio?
No idea.
No idea. All right. So
That's
no, it
one of
has
the
to be
greatest movies of all time. Okay.
I know it is, but it's hard. Okay, it's hard to remember what it is. So, all right.
Okay.
So you see how Scott's nice, right? He went to the hardest thing ever.
Yep.
I,
Thanks, Scott. I trust you, man.
Okay. So, all right. So, you want a movie that? Okay. How about?
it only has to be a movie that Elio knows. It could be anything, but it has to be something. If Elio doesn't know, we go back to another one.
Okay. Let's see. What about the Avengers movies? There's like
Cool.
12 of them. Is that too many? Is that too
No,
broad?
Okay.
I-
Okay, the Avengers movie. All right. So here's the exercise, Elio. Scott, all of us here, Scott, Juan, and Bruno, your audience, we are only interested in the Avengers, right? That's the only thing we're interested in. We are hero nerds, right? So we know everything about the Avengers, and we're only interested in the Avengers. So here's your challenge, Elio. You have to talk about monitoring to people that only want to hear about the Avengers.
Okay.
All right. So you just a couple of ideas for you to get started. You can say, for example, 3 things I learned about monitoring with the Avengers, or 3 mistakes the Avenger makes that shows how monitoring is important, or monitor your code like the Avengers do, or whatever. Right? You have to tie in monitoring with the Avengers. You ready?
More or less. Okay, so just to me to understand a little
Okay.
bit more,
So-
I just
Uh-huh.
need to come up with not a celebrity statement, but something kind of a title, or I need to
No, no.
present something
You
to you guys.
Yes, you need to present something. You need to do, so that's why I'm saying, I think the best way to do this exercise is to do a very simple thing, is like 3 things I learned about monitoring with the event by watching the Avengers. You should, that's the title of your presentation. 3 things I learned about monitoring by watching the Avengers.
Improvisation.
Yeah, let me think about 3 important things. I think the first one is
Okay, so here, no, you're gonna do a presentation, right? So here, how you do, you're gonna start. You say, okay, you're gonna say 3 things I learned about monitoring for the Avengers, and then you do the 3 things, and then you present yourself. Ready?
almost. Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. You go, Elio.
So today I'm gonna talk about 3 things I learned from Avengers. Today I'm gonna I'm gonna show 3 things I learned from Avengers on how to do a better monitoring and how to have a better response for the chaos. Or no, that's bad. Not sure if I'm ready.
You start well. So now just keep going.
Okay, so the first thing I think is the best and the most important thing about monitoring is to know what exactly you are looking at, right? Sometimes people think monitor is just about to plug an agent or just to look into a tool, and they don't really understand the application they are looking at, right? So this is the first thing, right? You need to know how the application behaviors. So this is kind of the first one. The second one is the communication with the peers. Basically, when you are doing monitoring, that maybe you are having an incident on your productions. So the second part of this is the communication. Sometimes, every time I go to a company and I solve a problem, most of the times is because people don't talk to each other. Even when it's kind of a huge problem for the company, they are not talking to each other. They don't communicate with each other. Sometimes I just go from the dev to the database administration, and I can find a problem because I was talking with the guy, and wasn't even no it wasn't even no technical a technical problem. The second one, you just need
Okay,
to have.
wait.
Okay.
Okay, you already went through two problems. And where are the Avengers there? We just want to hear about the Avengers.
I
Right?
forgot about the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. We're all like, oh man, that's a boring talk. Okay, let's.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard to create a connection like fast, right?
No. You're great. You're very good. You talked about two problems that you could totally have talk about the Avengers, but you didn't. So I'm just gonna remind you to do it. So you can go back. Okay, so you don't need to do a third one. Just do those two ones that you did, but now make a good connection with the Avengers.
Okay. So remember when damn it, I forgot the name in the English of the.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, so remember when Locke went from the first time in the Earth, and then he was kind of manager people's mind, and this was funny, right? Because it's kind of nobody knew what he was doing, like how was he was controlling people, right? And this was funny for a while because I mean nobody knew how to. Nobody was understand what was going on and how to block it, right? And while you are doing your application monitoring, it's the same thing. Sometimes people just thinking that you are looking to the application then and you have everything under your control, but you doesn't have, because you don't know your application, you don't know what's going on inside it, and how can you defeat the problems if you don't know, if you don't understand the problem? So that's why it's important to you as the Avengers fight Locke to understand the same thing, understand what it is and how to defeat it, how to how to how to solve that problem, right? Or at least how is the behavior. So that would be like my first one, my first connection. What do you think? Bad? Too bad?
I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, I sorry, I don't remember the name of the people and everything that just happened.
Don't worry. It's just an exercise, so don't worry too much. But that was perfect.
So the second one, if I remember well from the movie, remember that part when was kind of a conflict between the Avengers. I remember very well that the Captain American, he was kind of pissed off, I think with Rook, and then the Rook, they were kind of fighting each other, and they weren't working as a team. And also the Iron Man, he was kind of being an asshole, right? And he was trying to kind of fighting only for money and was not thinking only about the team. So that's kind of almost what happens when we are in a war room in our companies. Sometimes the team doesn't talk together. Sometimes it's like silos trying to solve different problems. For example, sometimes it's the application team is just looking to the logs and say, hey, my application is answered very well. Sometimes it's the network team and they say, hey, I can ping this application or I can ping this container. So that means that the communication is right. So most of the time when people don't talk to each other, you cannot solve a problem that's like very complex, right? So basically, it's one of the things I learned as the Avengers. They start to talk and to communicate together, like to talk the same language. Basically, they solve the problem. They defeat the stranger guy that comes from the space. And with applications and with war rooms is the same. Once we can communicate to each other well, we can solve the problems. So
Whoa, that's perfect. That's it.
well, almost.
No, that's great. That's what we want. We want to be able to talk about our content, because I just don't want to extend this more than the time needed. But I just want you guys to see this. Ellie was unprepared. He had nothing to do, right? He had nothing to talk about. But he knows monitoring. That's what he does, right? The same way that Juan knows microservices, that Scott knows about legacy code and refactoring. And you guys know this. It's your life, right? You've been doing this for years and years and years. So you know exactly what you're talking about. Now, for you to make it interesting, you have to adapt your content to what the audience needs, right? And we're making a weird audience here. That's an audience that just want to know about Avengers. But it could be anything. It could be, for example, how you talk about monitoring to an audience that only wants to learn about Java. How you talk about monitoring to an audience that only wants to learn about how to do presentations. How you talk about monitoring to an audience that they're interested in containers and clouds. I mean, how to talk about monitoring to developers, how to talk about monitoring to managers, how to talk about monitoring to CIOs. Once you know what your audience wants, you can always adapt your content to what the audience want to hear. Make sense? Because you know your stuff. And by the way, once you do this, it makes it for a much more interesting talk. You see the connections, monitoring might be terrible, but when you make a connection with Avengers, right, it's more interesting. And by the way, if you're talking to people that want to hear about monitoring, doing this with existing movies, for example, it's very cool, right? Because now you're talking about monitoring in a different way, right? So if you're already talking to someone that wants to hear about monitoring, you're doing the other way around, right? You're talking about what you want to talk about to an audience that want to hear about monitoring, right? So let's say you watch a movie, right? Any movie, and you say, man, that was a great movie. I want to talk about this movie in my blog. Oh, but my blog is only about monitoring. So no one's going to be interested about me talking about the movie. So you make a connection between the two, right? And that's true for anything. For example, let's say, you had a negotiation with your boss, and you got an increased salary, for example, and you want to negotiate, you want to explain to other people how they can do the same thing. But your audience is a monitoring audience, because that's where you've been beauty for the last year. So you talk about, 3 things. Okay, I had a negotiation yesterday, so 3 things in my negotiation that increased my salary is related to monitoring, for example. So you can talk about anything you want in your life, right? As long as you make a connection with what people want to hear. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so maybe next week we can do an exercise with everyone that shows up.
That would be fun. Well, I need to be going.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry.
Since I'm the host, when I go, everybody goes.
So sorry for holding you a little bit more, Scott, but
Not a
let's
problem.
go. All right. Okay, guys. Great
Okay,
meeting.
well,
Thanks, everyone.
yeah, thanks. This was fun. And we'll look forward to doing it again next week. Y'all have a great weekend.
You
Thank
all
you.
too. It
Cool,
was
you
very
too.
fun. It was very
Okay.
valuable.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cool. Bye.
Bye.